my father's house.
We are the Pearl River United Methodist Church.
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 We are the Pearl River United Methodist Church, rooted in grace,
Growing in faith,
Reaching out with God's love.
Our mission statement is a reflection of who we are as a community, as a faith family, and as a church home.
So Kathy and I moved our family here 19 years ago, and one of the first things we did was find a church, the Pearl River United Methodist Church. So this church has meant a great deal to me and my family.
So Chuck and I have lived here for 3 years now, and it took us a long time to feel at home. And the reason we finally feel part of the community here and kind of rooted and at home is because of this church.
Well, when I think of home, I think of course family, love, friends, people in, good meals, all of that, and the church has all of that to offer.
I like to be involved in the church, and I feel like it gives back to me. And so therefore, I always feel like the church is very family focused because we all are very supportive to each other.
We visited the Pearl River United Methodist Church and found the pastor, the membership, to be very caring and welcoming, and we felt it was a good place to raise our children in their faith journey.
It's hard to believe that almost 40 years have passed since I first walked into the sanctuary. During that time, the church has meant an awful lot to me and my family.
The theme of our capital campaign is reach. Renew, enhance, access our church home. And we chose the word reach because reaching is a part of our mission statement. We're called to reach out with God's love. And we want to be a congregation that reaches and is open for all people. Unfortunately, we have a barrier, and that is our steps.
The capital campaign to me gives us an opportunity to be able to give back so that we can assure the future generations have these similar types of experiences.
I think that it becomes important with the capital campaign because we're thinking of the future and way into the future. There are many saints who have come before us and who have given of their not only money but time and their prayers and presence here in the church. And we're being asked to do that.
The Pearl River United Methodist Church reaches out to the community with a very spirited outreach program. Our church hosts several service community organizations such as Boy Scouts, AA. As a longtime trustee, I see firsthand all of the outreach activities our church participates in.
We have a special passion in our church where many of our members are active in reaching out to do the helping hands, preparing meals for the homeless. We do food drives, Project Joy at Christmas time, and we just receive the most heartwarming thank yous.
One of the planned improvements is a widened driveway as to be closer to the entrance. The sheltered entrance ramp with protection from the elements, widening doors, and accessibility to the restrooms. Just imagine what it would be like to be able to enter the sanctuary, to hear the message, the marvelous music, see the lit cross, the joyous children receive communion, and to give thanks and pray.
The theme is reach, which I think is entirely appropriate. Our church reaches out to the community through outreach efforts, through food drives, through offerings we give for disasters that happen around the world. I think if this is opportunity now to reach into our church and its structure and the ability to also be able to reach to those people who can't currently access our church. It's real important that be the case. We have a handicapped uncle in a wheelchair, and we frankly can't get him into the church anymore. It'd be great for future generations to not have that problem.
Since we started coming here, more and more young families have been attending. So if we could have an entrance that was not only more welcoming, but easier to access, I think we could reach a lot of people.
And I think it'd be a really important thing if we had a wheelchair ramp here at the church for all the clients that we serve that are not able to walk on their own and use wheelchairs to go to yoga and music class and other activities that we provide for them. So if we can get the funds for it, let's do it.
I believe there are several members of our community and membership who may avoid coming to services because it's just too physically challenged to enter our building. The trustees and the membership are aware of the need to create a more accessible entrance to the church, and recently we've had plans developed by an architect for a more ADA compliant entrance and a brand new ADA compliant bathroom, which should service all the needs of the church.
Having a handicap bathroom, a large bathroom, to fit all your stuff in, including your child, is huge and necessary, especially if we're going to get more young families with kids in. The amount of children we have has grown just in the few years that we've been attending here, which is such an amazing thing to watch. A church that's been around, we just celebrated 150 years. To be revitalized like that with youth is tremendous and affects everyone in the church family, and I think it gives new life.
When the new choir loft was constructed many years ago, we believe the construction of the roof lines may have adversely affected the loads of the ceiling in our existing sanctuary. Because of that, we had to have engineering analysis done and have plans developed to fortify the ceiling in the existing sanctuary. While the flaws in the ceiling may not be visually obvious to everyone, they became very obvious when we installed the central air conditioning in the attic. We found that several rafters and joists have been compromised and are definitely affecting the load-bearing capacity of our ceiling in the sanctuary. For that reason, we need to install structural steel skeleton in the roof and the ceiling, which will help fortify the structure.
I think that the improvements that we'll be making in the sanctuary are going to be very important for our church because they're going to help us to continue to reach out to others in the future. If we don't improve our sanctuary now, eventually it'll just fall down and then we won't have a sanctuary. And even though the church is the people, it's hard to worship in tents in southern New York State. We really do need a building for us to come together and be a community in so that we can reach out to the community that's around us.
And without a safe sanctuary to worship in, our group would not be together.
I believe our mission as Christians is to love our neighbor. One of the most important themes of this church is to love your neighbor, and I'm very proud to be a part of it.
Thank you for your efforts on behalf of this to give us a safe place to gather so that we can continue reaching out with God's love.
As a faith community, need to dedicate ourselves to see this become a reality. You can count on me.
In a few weeks, we're going to be asking people to make a commitment to the future generations of this church so they can have the same benefit that we have had of it.
So now it's our turn. We're asking each one of you to pray daily, Lord, what would you have me do? And this is not simply a decision about money. This is a statement of faith. This is a calling, a way that we will reach future generations so that our community will continue to be a community rooted in grace, growing in faith, and reaching out with God's love.
It's a big, big house with lots and lots of room.